1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it.
I feel like I need Botox, which is like so bad. But I'm like, I feel like I've been needing Botox. just my forehead, just so we can get rid of these man wrinkles, and we'll be all set. So hey besties, I'm back at it again with another freaking video, guys. This is freaking take 3 of doing this. I'm back at it again with another freaking video, guys. And if you can tell the title, I'm going to be doing a video and telling you guys how to become a better artist in 2022, because I definitely know that it's in some people's New Year's resolution. I do know that some people are still celebrating a new year or whatever. So I just figured, why not do a video and be more active on YouTube? Just kind of just tell you guys like my growth and things that I have learned over time, because I've been doing this for about like a good 3 years, like me just posting content online trying to get noticed. But overall, I think I've been doing art for about a good 8 years now. Like as like a kid, I was doing art. So I've just noticed that I have grown so much, and this is definitely my peak year. Last year was my peak year. Like I've just done so many cool looks, and honestly things that I never would even imagine that I would have done. And that's why I just feel like my name is just like so legendary. Like I don't know. I may not have like the engagement or the likes and all this, but I feel like my talent speaks for itself, honestly. And so I feel like I am credible to kind of, tell you guys my journey and things that I have learned, and maybe extend it to you. Yeah, and if you are new to my channel, my name is Darious Malik. I am an artist on here who does painting, who does makeup, who literally does just about everything artsy. Basically, my life is art. That's what I'm gonna do one day, so I'm kind of preparing for it now, and really just put in the work, I guess, because we all have a journey, and I feel like my journey is YouTube. So yeah. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you definitely consider subscribing and keep on watching for the tips and the tricks being a better artist in 2022. So guys, I do have the notes on my old phone right here. It's kind of bad. It's sort of a crack. You can definitely tell from the camera. It's so bad, but I mean, I can see the notes. I did write a bunch of notes down. And so yes, the first tip I said, which sounds super cliche, is just be yourself. Literally, like, that can go so far on its own. There are so many different artists who just, I personally like from just being themselves. Like John Michel Basquiat was a person that I genuinely like. I've seen a lot of his interviews, and he just seemed like a very cool guy on top of his art. But I feel like being himself and just being that kind of like weird guy to some people just really just made him stand out. And he was surrounded by a lot of the right people, and I feel like they probably picked up on his personality, and it was just like, oh, he's a cool guy. He also does really cool art. I'm pretty sure he was being himself. And his artwork is obviously iconic and legendary. That took a huge part in it, but I'm pretty sure a lot had to do with him just being himself, just being him, And so that's tip number 1, is just to be yourself, literally. Just be yourself. I mean, I know it sounds super cliche, but I feel like people don't understand how much of a really big thing it is, just simply just being yourself, not trying to be anyone else, because you really can only be you at the end of the day. There are so many people in the world, and there's genuinely only one you. And I know that you may look like somebody else, or somebody else may look like you, but at the same time, they will never be exactly you. And I feel like that just makes every artist stand out. And I don't understand why sometimes people can feel like artists and art is just like a competitive field, because it's really not, because there's really room at the table for everybody. So yeah, that's tip number 1, be yourself. And tip number 2, I said get started exactly where you are, or pick up exactly where you left off. So let me explain that a little bit. So I know that some people like just probably like somehow in their life, they were just like, I want to just kind of go into art, like where they maybe try something different, like actually try like a profession, like maybe being a doctor or whatever. Like I've heard so many stories about people like, oh my gosh, I was a doctor at one point, but then I was like, I want to follow my dreams and I want to be an artist. And that's what I mean by like get started exactly where you are. No matter where you are in life, just get started. Like literally just start sketching, just start painting, like just do whatever it takes for you to get that zeal and that spark, and just keep going after that. Like don't stop. And also the part I said, pick up where you left off. If you like got discouraged or whatever, like it's never too late. It just continue to keep doing what you're doing, because at the end of the day, you're your own artist and you are so unique. So I feel like if you have an art style, then it's like that never should go away. So yeah, tip number 2. And then tip number 3, I said get get to know different art forms, multiple different art forms, and don't just get only used to one form. So I feel like that's just me basically was saying that I know that like there are so many different art forms, and like I feel like people sometimes can get used to one. I used to be the exact same person. Like I used to just only want to do one thing. Like I used to like only want to do painting, but it's just like now I've evolved and I'm like, oh my gosh, like let me do makeup, let me do like shoes, let me do clothes. Like there are so many different artsy type of like things that you can do. Like you can even do business logos for people. So that could be your art. Like, and you can also do painting or something like that. Like that's so cool. And also, not to mention the money there is to be made doing like different things, because even for me, exactly, like people know they can like probably hit me up and be like, oh my gosh, can you do my makeup? Or oh my gosh, can you do these shoes for me? Oh my gosh, can you do this outfit for me? Like there's genuinely so many different things that if you're like willing to be open to all those different things and receptive, like the money can be like really good. And it's already hard as an artist to make money. So it's just like I feel like doing one thing, and that's not to say that if you just do painting or if you just do something like one thing on its own that you're not going to be successful. Like the times of you being successful is multiplied when you do multiple different things basically. So you have probably a two times chance, right, of being more successful than the average artist if you like do multiple things. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And also, like I said, just the money, because this is a very difficult career. It's kind of a hard path to say it the least. So, you know, just kind of just get used to doing different things, because you just never know where you may be used at. And that's what I am at in my life. I'm just like, wherever people want me to be used at, I'll do a mural for somebody. Like, I'll do some clothes. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, long as I can get the credit for it, and long as I feel like my name's attached to it, and long as I'm making some money behind it, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. And of course, I'm going to put my heart, you know, work, whatever into it or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is just like get used to just doing different things, because, you know, you just never know. And hey, yeah. So, I think this is tip number 4. Turn yourself to see art in everyday things, nature and food, people, different body shapes, disabilities, etc. So, I always try to tell people, like, if you're gonna be doing art, like, definitely you have to have that artsy mindset. Like, you could just look at a pair of scissors and be like, like, those scissors made up such and such shapes. Like, let me try to do something weird, or like maybe make like an abstract pair of scissors. Like, you just really just have to like kind of like look at everyday things and just see the beauty in them and be like, oh my gosh, like I want to paint that, or I want to do that. Like for example, like I used to watch like a lot of 90s cartoon characters and stuff like that, like a lot of shows and whatever, and I'm like, they really put their like so much effort into those characters, and I'm like, now looking back at it, I'm like, those are so cool. And I'm like, I get a lot of my inspirations from like just looking at cartoon characters and like maybe like twisting it up, like kind of doing my own spin on it, or just anything. Like I remember one day it was so weird. I was in a Publix bathroom, guys. This was so weird. I like looked at the tiles on the floor and I like took a picture of them, because I was like, that is like so cool. The color scheme that they had, it was like different greens, like earthy greens or whatever. So I was like, that could be my next color palette for any painting. Like it's just, that's what I mean by when I say like get inspiration from different things. Like just do it. Like you may see like a dog and you're like, oh, like I like his colors. Let me just like take a picture of the dog and let me just use him as a color palette. Like you just don't know. Like that's what I mean by the possibilities are really just endless when you're really in that mindset of just like taking anything that you see and just maybe getting inspiration from it, or just kind of just like having a feel of it, just like, dang, like this is fire. Like let me just do whatever I need to do with it. Let me get my inspiration from it. So yes, that's tip number 4. And tip number 5, that's kind of already kind of mentioned that or whatever, but it's I say any chance you get to get creative, take it. Like if there's like a talent show or something like that, or you just want to be like, oh my gosh, like you want to paint like a, I don't know, like a poster for your school, or like any chance you get to be creative, like, I don't know, just do it. Like just do it. I think that's really simple. It is kind of self-explanatory. Any chance you get to be creative, just do it. Just take it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? The worst you could do is fail at it, and then it's like, still keep it, don't scrap it, and just look back at it. And you probably look back at it from years from now and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm glad I did that, because now I feel like I have a little bit more experience on drawing such and such, or you just never know. You just really never know. So tip number 6 is practice with different mediums, canvases, an actual canvas, paper, clothes, your physical body, walls, etc. So that just kind of just sums up the idea of just kind of having really just knowing that you can just do whatever on anything and it still will come out just the same. Like me painting my body is kind of the same as painting on a canvas. Like just kind of have that creative mindset to just be like, oh my gosh, like I literally can paint on anything, and I'm going to do that because it just makes me, you know, makes the art stand out more, because sometimes art can look more cooler on a person than on a canvas. Like that's just a 3D dimension of it, or just anything. Like just knowing that you want to take the time out just about, oh my gosh, let me paint on something different besides what I normally do. Like to me, that just is cool, and I feel like that'll just help in aiding your growth over time. So yeah, that was kind of simple. And 7, I said follow other artists and study. Also study famous artists' lives and their journeys. I always use Jean-Michel Basquiat as my like inspiration. I looked at his interviews, like I really studied this man's career basically. I look at his life, and I always said I feel like he really networked to the gods basically. Like he literally knew exactly what he wanted to do. He always introduced himself to people like his name, like I am such and such a judge, I am Basquiat, like I did this. Like that's what it seems like to me. Like he just seems super cool, and honestly I've just literally studied his life. I've looked at him in interviews, like his notions, like what was his inspiration. Like that really can age you. And I feel like if you just follow, even it doesn't even have to be an old artist, it can just be a current artist. Like just follow someone new, and just if they're like, they could be famous or, you know, whatever, just like look at their journey and see how they made it, and, you know, take success from it. Take what you will, put it on your plate, put it in your deck of cards, and just use it to be like, oh my gosh, you know, maybe the way they network, you know, you just never know. Like I said, I feel like he personally, Basquiat, I feel like he networked with, and he really talked to the right people at the right time. And so I feel like that's kind of what made him known. So yeah, just kind of study other people's lives, other artists' lives, and just don't compare yourself, of course, and just take what you will from there and use it as inspiration. Back at your old work and see how far you've come. I actually just did this yesterday. Like, I don't know, I just be railing feeling like, dang, like I just want to just look at my old work and just like completely just get inspiration from it. Like, it's so cool to just look back and be like, oh my gosh, I did that in 2015, and like, look how much I've grown. Like, that is such an inspirational thing. And even when you're about to feel like giving up, like, that is such a good way to just kind of like, I can't give up. Like, look how far I've come. Look how much I'm dedicated into my craft. Like, it's such a cool thing to just look back and be like, oh my gosh, I was in such and such grade, I did this. Or like 8 years ago, I made my first mural, or 8 years ago, I made my first collage, and look at the collages I make now. Like, that's such a cool thing to do. I think that's so underestimated from people, because a lot of people think it's childish or like cliche or whatever, but it actually does help. Looking at your work and never thinking that you have arrived, or you're too proud to go back and look at your old work, because, you know, that's who you were at one point in time, you know? So just look back at your old work and just be like, you know, I did it, you know? Or I did that, and I've grown from it, and I've just become a better artist. So, yeah. And be open to critiques and constructive criticism. This is kind of self-explanatory. I feel like don't ever think you're too proud. Of course, like, it's different between constructive criticism and just direct hate. But if someone's like, maybe, you know, maybe you tried to use a different color one time, or a different time, or I don't know, just be open to constructive criticism. I try to be open to constructive criticism as much as I can. Like, even when it comes to me doing makeup or whatever, I'm like, okay, you know, I'll learn from you, you know? Like, there's so much to be learned from different people. Never think that you're just, like, basically the end-all be-all of something, or that no one can ever tell you something, because I feel like that just kind of like shuts up your journey a little bit. Like, it just makes you, like, kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain it. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, just be open to constructive criticism. Never think that you're too proud to receive something from somebody. Like, never feel like that you just have made it, or you have arrived. Even if you do get to where you want to be, like, never feel like that you just can never take constructive criticism from someone, because there's so much to be learned from other people besides just yourself. So yeah, I said go to art school. That's kind of optional, which I'm thinking about enrolling to like fashion school or whatever one day. Oops. But it's kind of expensive. I know I'm kind of burping a little bit, excuse me, but it's kind of expensive, guys. So that's why I'm like, it's kind of optional if you feel like you want to. Like, I know I've been thinking about doing it. Like, I really been thinking about going to fashion school, whatever, which is kind of cool, whatever. But I do know it's not for everybody, and I think you can just be just as successful, like, in school or out of school, like in school or out of school, basically. So I'm like, you don't have to go, but I mean, obviously you do learn a lot when you go to art school and fashion school or whatever school you're going to, like artsy, like you do learn a lot. You do learn a lot. So, and you do get to meet a lot of different cool people that are similar to you. Like you just can make connections and like, so it can be a cool thing, but it's definitely not like you have to go. But if you do go, enjoy it. And if you don't go, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because you know, you just never know. At one point I said I wasn't gonna go, but now I'm like, I think I want to go. And the only thing is, it's just that money, like the money to go to art school and fashion school makes me cry. Like it just does. Like it's too expensive, but you know, at the same time you invest into your future. So it's just like, hey, you just never know. Never know. And then the last tip I have is never give up. That's so simple and that's so cliche to say, but it genuinely is the truth. Like just never give up. Like always believe in yourself, like believe in your brand, introduce yourself in any room you walk in. Like, hey, I'm such and such. I'm apart from everybody else. I'm such and such. Like me, I'm Darious Malik. I do such and such. Like just always never give up and introduce yourself to everybody because you just never know who can like help you out in your career or just like give you tips or pointers or and just never get discouraged if you're not getting like a lot of views or like that's me a lot of times. Like I feel like I get a lot of views and likes, but it's just like at the same time that doesn't measure your talent. Like you can be super talented and not no one knows who you are. So it's just like that, you know. And to me, talent is more important than likes and views can ever be. So it's just like, you know, there are a lot of famous nobodies. Basically, I know that sounds super bad, but they're just a lot of famous nobodies. Like people that we don't know their talent, they're just famous. So I don't know. I know that sounds really bad. I feel bad for saying nobodies because they're not nobodies, but they're not. We don't know their talent. Basically, they have talent, but they haven't showed it to us. So, which is why we like don't know why they're famous. I'm not gonna say any names, but yeah. But I think that's all the tips I have for you guys. Can't think of anything else really, but yeah, I think that's all the tips, guys. So guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. I just feel like I never do like super lengthy videos while I'm just sitting here talking. So it kind of just feels like this is like, I'm out of breath a little bit. Like she's out of breath, he's out of breath. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm going crazy because like I never feel like I've like talked so much and I'm like I have like stuttering sometimes. So it's like forgive me if I stutter or I kind of like chewed up a word and couldn't spit it out. Like just you know. But hope you guys enjoyed it like I said before, and I hope you guys learned something. That's the most important thing from this video. Like I hope you learned something, you know. I definitely don't have all my ducks in a row yet. I'm still trying to become a better artist myself, but I've definitely grown, and if you have followed me, you know that I've grown a lot. So, you know, pat on the back for me, you know. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And definitely follow my Instagram if you have not. I may post this look, me looking flawless. Just never know. So I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.